Okay, what's Bitcoin doing now? Now that we've like I said in my last video, like what we were looking for, we got the SFP that I asked for. Now the issue is that the SFP didn't hit our long zone. It was a really shallow SFP from this low, and it's overall just not a very it's not a very good sweep that you'd want to see if you are gonna locally bottom out. Now, another problem is one, this range is awful. It's given you nothing. It's quite literally giving you nothing, and it's a very slow pullback. Now, yes, it's been a Friday and it's been a weekend, but that's no excuse to look awful in terms of the pullback. At the end of the day, price action is still there, and there's still liquidity to attack if it leaves horrible liquidity. That's not something you can avoid, right? Whether you avoid trading the weekend or not. Now, another thing, as price came down on the way down, you get into this big 4 hour or 2 hour order block. Now the issue is you hit this order block and you obviously had a reaction. Someone was there, but the issue is you never took any local highs. So you never flip structure up, which means that this local horrible structure, which that was a distribution, and I called the top there, that you're not showing any sign that there's any strength at all. And actually, you just turned it into a big supply zone because that was a huge nuke, right? So you turn this demand zone into a supply zone, a lovely little flip zone, or demand to supply flip, as some people call it. But the block tried to do its job. Someone tried to keep price alive, and they failed. So it's not looking good. So I mean, ideally speaking, to me, this is a short zone, unless proven otherwise. For example, you come up into the short zone, maybe you get a reaccumulation of some kind, maybe another range. Um, Maybe I'll probably long it then. I mean, it would be a preemptive long, but if we get good ranges, it's not really a preemptive long then. If price hits the zone and comes back down, I'd need to see really good confirmation, and I mean really good confirmation for this whole zone as a whole to hold. Um, and in general, I'm still looking at the zone. Again, likewise, I've said this every video so far, but obviously there'll be new people watching. Every single July retracement has been 80 to 90%. One of them, I think, was like 75, 78 or something. But they've been very deep pullbacks. So since your first low, which yes, that was a sharp, I'll explain why I'm explaining this in a second, but yes, this was a sharp move compared to the rest because everyone and their mother longed July 1st because everyone knew July was going to be a bullish month. So of course everyone longed, and obviously you get this little flash liquidation event. That's fine, that happens. Now, after that, every single low has been some sort of an accumulative move. For example, this is model 2 accumulation, or some people call it inverse head and shoulders. Um, Over here, it wasn't really an accumulation because it's technically not within the retracement zone. I forgot what you called it. It was too deep to be considered within one range. Okay, but regardless, you still had absorption. You still took local highs, and it's not an accumulation, but you have three tabs still low, and that's something to consider. This one over here, again, it's technically not in our range threshold, but again, it was still a Model 1 accumulation that's held. So, I mean, pattern recognition wise, all three of your lows have been accumulations, whether they've been outside of their retracement zone um, or not, is showing that these accumulations are still working, even if they're a bit more wider ranges that don't typically follow normal range behavior. So 100%, I'm looking for longs down here if we get it, which I originally wanted with a deeper pullback, but that's fine. So yeah, if price gets down into the zone, I'm 100% looking for longs. Now, I would be worried if we do start sweeping lows and start breaking more with conviction, because the problem is that normally suggests that July's move is done. And again, July's move normally takes June's highs. So I'd be a little bit more on the cautious side if we will actually take July's highs. Now, June's highs. Now, August normally does sweep July's high. So if we were to get some sort of a pullback, I mean, this is still an accumulative zone. This is still a really good zone. And it's also induced multiple times now. Well, these are a bit further away, but it's been induced a couple times now. And as we know, those liquidations at 61,300, there's millions and millions of liquidations. So would this be a good place for smart money to buy from and make a big profit when price comes back up to June size? Absolutely. That is a potential and very possible idea. I would just want it to happen early. The deeper we go into the months, the less likely this scenario really is. But apart from that, locally speaking, this range on the weekend has been awful. There's not really been anything to trade. The range looks awful by the end of the day. You can't just ignore the weekend price action. If it looks awful, it's still going to be there when we're trading on the weekdays. So this being equal lows in liquidity, that's still kind of a problem even with the sweep, whether it looks ugly or not. Of course, it's gonna look ugly. It's weekend, but that's not an excuse to do this or this. There's been weekends that look decent. There's been weekends that are slow but don't give horrible structure to come back for later, and this is not one of those weeks. So with the way that this range is looking as a whole, I'd be more on the bearish side. Obviously, if you're trading this local range, then what I'm saying doesn't really apply to you. You're trading what's in this local range. You're not really taking the high time frame in at least that much into consideration because you already have your zones. You already know what you're looking for, right? Yes, a high could come early. It's just less likely. You'd need to see some kind of a range confirm that, or some kind of a move to confirm that. That makes sense. I couldn't find any breaker blocks around here, so I can't actually give a valid zone for why we would come down from here, if any zone. So I'm not really looking for shorts at the moment. I'm not really looking for anything. This range to me looks ugly and horrible, but what I'm doing doesn't matter. I'm just giving the TA. Okay, cool. I'll see you in the next video. Good luck.